Have you ever woken up early, when the world was still dark, and for a moment, you felt different? Like maybe, just maybe, this is the day everything changes. But then your hand reaches for your phone, and before you even realize it, that spark fades into the same loop. Notifications, noise, distraction, and you tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. But here's the truth. Tomorrow never comes for the person who keeps waiting to feel ready. Pause. A single breath. This is the story of why waking up at 5 a.m. isn't about time. It's about self-respect. It's about discipline, not as punishment, but as freedom. 1 o'clock, the pain we all know. Let's be honest. You've tried to fix your life before. You set alarms. You write routines. You say, this week will be different. But when 5 a.m. hits, you lie there, staring at the ceiling, and your mind whispers, just 5 more minutes. Those 5 minutes are never 5 minutes. They're a quiet negotiation with your future, a small war between the person you are and the person you want to be. And every time you hit snooze, the future version of you takes a step back. The psychology behind it. Here's what most people don't realize. Waking up early isn't hard because your body's weak. It's hard because your brain is protecting you. When that alarm rings, your amygdala, the part of your brain that detects threat, wakes up too. It says, stay in bed. It's safe here. That's not laziness. That's survival. Your brain doesn't care about your goals. It cares about comfort. That's why the bed feels heavier when you have dreams that scare you. But discipline, true discipline, is not fighting your brain. It's retraining it. Every time you win that first battle at dawn, your brain learns a new story. Discomfort isn't danger. It's growth. The 5 a.m. window. There's something strange about the early morning. At 5 a.m., the air feels different. The world is quiet. No noise, no notifications, no expectations. It's not just a time of day. It's a psychological window. Studies show that our prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for focus and decision-making, functions best when it's not flooded with dopamine. And that's exactly what mornings give you. A clean slate. No social media. No messages. No chaos. Just space to breathe. Space to think. Space to become. 5 o'clock, a personal moment. I still remember my first 5 a.m. I wasn't motivated. I was angry. Angry at how far I'd drifted from the person I wanted to be. I sat by the window with a notebook, half asleep, staring at the sunrise. And something clicked. It wasn't about being productive. It was about finally keeping a promise to myself. For years, I broke those promises. Every I'll start tomorrow. Every I'll change next week. They stacked up until I couldn't trust myself anymore. That morning was different. Not because I felt inspired, but because I decided to stop waiting for inspiration. And that decision, to act before I felt ready, changed everything. 6:30. Here's what nobody tells you. Most people think discipline means grind. Waking up early, hustling, no breaks, no fun. That's not discipline. That's punishment. True discipline is self-trust. It's the ability to say, I'll do this, and then do it. Even when it's cold. Even when you don't feel like it. Even when no one's watching. Every time you keep that small promise, you rebuild your identity. And over time, those tiny wins turn into something powerful. Belief. You stop needing motivation. You stop chasing comfort. You simply do what must be done. That's the secret behind every disciplined person you admire. They're not stronger than you. They just stop negotiating with excuses. 8 o'clock, the routine that rebuilds you. If you want to start your 5 a.m. journey, forget perfection. Don't try to wake up and do a 2-hour morning ritual on day 1. Start simple. When your alarm rings, sit up. That's your first win. Drink water. Breathe. Step outside, if you can. Feel the cold air on your face. That's not pain. That's proof you're alive. Then, write 1 sentence. What would make today meaningful? That's all. 1 sentence. 1 promise. Because every great transformation begins with something small and consistent. Transition to focus section. In the beginning, it's not the 5 a.m. that changes you. It's the decision behind it. But once you master that decision, something else begins to shift. Your mornings become more than discipline. They become your secret weapon for clarity. The silence you once feared becomes your biggest advantage. And that's where we go next. The psychology of focus, and why 5 a.m. might be the most powerful hour of your life. The awakening silence. When you wake up before the world does, something strange happens. You start to hear things you've never noticed before. The quiet hum of the fridge, the faint song of a bird outside your window, the sound of your own thoughts, clear, uncluttered. That silence. It's not emptiness. It's clarity. Because the truth is, we live in a world that's louder than ever. Our phones scream for attention. Our minds jump from one dopamine hit to the next. And somewhere in that chaos, we lose the ability to focus. But at 5 a.m., when everyone else is still chasing dreams, you get to chase your own thoughts. And for once, they don't run away. Why your focus is broken? Let's be honest. Focus isn't something we're born with. It's something the modern world has slowly stolen from us. Every scroll, every swipe, every notification teaches your brain one thing. You don't need to stay here. Something better is coming. That's dopamine conditioning. It's how your mind gets addicted to what's next. Instead of staying with what matters now, you try to study, and suddenly your mind drifts. You sit down to work, and you remember that one random video. You can't stay in the moment, because your brain's reward system has been hijacked. But here's the truth no one tells you. You can rewire it. Focus isn't about forcing your brain. It's about resetting it. And that's what the 5 a.m. hour does. It gives your brain space to breathe again. The science of the quiet hour. At 5 a.m., your dopamine baseline is at its lowest point. That means the smallest effort, journaling, stretching, meditating, creates a natural dopamine rise. Unlike scrolling, which gives you a sharp spike and crash, these small actions give you steady waves of calm focus. It's like switching your brain from chaos to clarity mode. That's why high performers, athletes, thinkers, creators often wake up early. Not because 5 a.m. is magical, but because it's the only time left in modern life where nothing else is asking for your attention. Your mind, for once, becomes yours again. A real moment you'll recognize. You felt it before. That moment when you start working on something deeply important. An essay, a business idea, a workout. And for a few minutes, you forget time. No noise, no phone, no distractions. Just you and the task. That's called flow. It's the most peaceful form of productivity. And guess what? The 5 a.m. silence is the gateway to it. Because flow doesn't appear when you're half awake and overstimulated. It comes when your mind is empty enough to fill with purpose. And that's why waking up early isn't just about discipline anymore. It's about reclaiming your attention in a world that's trying to sell it. Most people fail to focus not because they're lazy, but because they're constantly overloaded. They wake up to chaos, checking messages, seeing the world before they've even met themselves. Imagine this. You wake up and within seconds you're already comparing your life to a stranger's highlight reel. That's like running a marathon before you've even put your shoes on. Here's the truth. If your first hour belongs to the world, the rest of your day never belongs to you. That's why the 5 a.m. routine works. Because you claim that hour before anyone else can. It's not about how early it is. It's about ownership. You can't control the entire day, but you can own the first 60 minutes. And that changes everything. The focus formula. Let's make it practical. Here's a simple focus framework for your early morning. Silence, 5 minutes. Don't touch your phone. Just breathe. Let your thoughts land. Movement, 10 minutes. Stretch, walk, or exercise lightly. Motion clears mental fog. Reflection, 10 minutes. Write one paragraph. What matters most today? Deep work, 30 to 45 minutes. One task that moves your life forward. Just one. That's it. No fancy apps. No complex rituals. Because focus thrives in simplicity. The fewer choices you make, the clearer your mind becomes. The dopamine reset. Here's something powerful most people miss. Every time you resist a distraction, your dopamine system recalibrates. Think of it like a speaker that's been blasting noise for too long. When you lower the volume, you start hearing the music again. That's what mornings do. They lower the volume of the world, so you can finally hear the rhythm of your own life. And over time, you begin to notice something incredible. You no longer crave chaos. You start craving peace. That's when you know you've shifted from reaction to control. The transition to purpose. You started waking up early to gain time. But what you really gained was clarity. And with clarity comes something far more powerful. Purpose. Because eventually, it's not about being productive. It's about becoming aligned. Every early morning becomes a conversation with yourself, the version of you you're still becoming. And that's what part 3 is about. The moment you find purpose, the true reason behind the 5 a.m. routine. The space between who you are and who you could be. There's a strange feeling that comes with waking up early. When the world is still quiet, and you realize you're the only one awake. You sit there thinking, and it hits you. This silence isn't empty. It's a space between two versions of you. The one you've been, and the one you're becoming. Most people never meet that version. They're too busy, too distracted, too numb. They wake up just in time to survive the day, but never in time to design it. But at 5 a.m., in that quiet light, you finally get to see yourself without the noise. And sometimes, that's the scariest part. Because when you strip away the chaos, there's nowhere left to hide. The mirror of the morning. Every morning is a mirror. The way you start your day reflects how you live your life. If you wake up rushing, scrolling, escaping, you're training your mind to live reactively. But if you wake up with intention, even in small ways, you're training your mind to create. That's why the 5 a.m. hour isn't about perfection. It's about alignment. You're not just waking up early. You're waking up to yourself. The psychology of purpose. Here's something powerful from psychology. Purpose isn't something you find. It's something you build. It's built through repetition, through small acts of alignment that tell your brain, this is who I am. Every time you wake up early, journal, exercise, or study, you're not just doing tasks. You're casting votes for your identity. You're wiring your brain to believe, I'm the kind of person who shows up. And that belief, slowly, quietly, becomes your new reality. That's how purpose is born. Not in motivation, but in consistency. There are two types of mornings in life. The first kind, you wake up late, rush, feel guilty, scroll, and promise yourself you'll do better tomorrow. But tomorrow looks exactly the same. The second kind, you wake up early, even when it hurts. You sit in the stillness. You do one small thing right. And something inside you whispers, I'm changing. It's not dramatic. It's quiet. Like the way dawn replaces darkness, slowly, consistently. That's transformation. Not overnight, but over every morning. A personal reflection. I used to think purpose would hit me like lightning. That one day I'd just know what I was meant to do. But it didn't happen that way. It came softly. In those early mornings when no one clapped, no one noticed. When I was just there, alone with my thoughts, trying to build a life I could respect. Those mornings didn't give me answers. They gave me direction. Because purpose isn't knowing exactly where you're going. It's trusting that showing up will get you there. The hard truth. Here's what nobody tells you. You won't feel powerful every morning. Some days, you'll wake up tired, doubtful, unmotivated. But that's the beauty of it. Discipline without emotion. That's what builds strength. Focus without noise. That's what builds clarity. And consistency without recognition. That's what builds purpose. You don't become unstoppable because life gets easy. You become unstoppable because you stop giving up when it's hard. Every morning you rise before the sun. You're proving something far more important than productivity. You're proving to yourself that you can be counted on. One day, you'll wake up at 5 a.m. and it won't feel like a challenge anymore. You'll sit in the same chair, hear the same silence, and smile. Because that silence won't scare you anymore. It will belong to you. You'll realize you didn't build a routine. You built a relationship with yourself. That's what this journey was always about. Not waking up early, but waking up for yourself. The morning you meet your future self. Close your eyes for a second. Picture the version of you who has it all together. Focused, calm, confident. The version that doesn't break promises anymore. That person isn't waiting in the future. They're waiting at 5 a.m. every day for you to show up. The more you meet them, the more you become them. Because transformation doesn't happen in a single leap. It happens in quiet repetitions. In the mornings when no one is watching. In the moments when you choose growth over comfort. That's how you meet your future self. Not by dreaming about them, but by becoming the kind of person who shows up for them. The challenge and call to action. So here's your challenge. Tomorrow morning, set your alarm for 5 a.m. When it rings, don't think. Just get up. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a beginning. Sit by your window. Breathe. Write one line. What would make today meaningful? That's it. Do it for 1 week. See what happens. Because maybe, just maybe, this isn't about a morning routine at all. Maybe it's about meeting the version of yourself that's been waiting for you all along. If this message resonated with you, don't just scroll away. Share this with someone who's trying to change their life quietly. Someone who just needs one reason to start. And if you're ready to keep growing, subscribe, not for motivation, but for momentum, because this is your time for growth.